Hey everybody, this is Daaro, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, the visual novel that brings you to Hinamizawa. And last time we played this game, it was a long time ago, and I'm ready to get back into this and back into Witch and the Holy Night. So let us continue where we left off. We had an amazing time at Watanagashi. We played probably the best eating contest of our lives. It was pretty insane. So let us get back to where we should be. Right here. I believe we are on Tuesday, May 10th. May 10th of the last year. Alright, let's go. While staring off into the stream, I somehow got separated from Rena. Oh, nothing. I wasn't very lonely though. Let me do something. Okay. I think we'll be good, but I don't know. I know this place now. This is where I live, my home. It's probably better if I just stayed here instead of wandering aimlessly. Someone would surely find me while I was enjoying the evening breeze. I heard a familiar voice. It was Tomitake-san. I headed towards it. How did it go, Tomitake-san? You able to get some good shots? Yeah, fortunately. Tomitake-san was with a girl. I felt kinda like I was intruding. How was it, Keiichi-kun? Did you enjoy the festival? From the way she spoke, it seemed like she was a resident of Hinamizawa. I really shouldn't try harder to remember people's faces here. What was her name? Well, it was fun. My face must have got given away of how desperately I was trying to remember her name because she gave a lighthearted chuckle. It's probably because it hasn't been long since you moved here. It's pretty hard to believe seeing how friendly you've gotten with the other kids. If that's how it looked, then it'd probably be all thanks to Rena and Miyo. Perhaps you'd feel more like a resident of Hinamizawa after taking part in the festival today? I wondered about that. Well, that's not like you. I try to get used to Hinamizawa. But there are still plenty of things I didn't know. These faces of people I met, for example. Things that have happened in the past as well. Oh. You feeling left out because of something like that? It's not as much as feeling left out. It's just, I'm not sure how to say it. That incident at the damn construction site. The fighting over it and other conflicts. That terrible incident that they pretended they didn't even know about whenever I brought it up. Even though it was in the past, as someone living in Hinamizawa, it wasn't wrong to want to know about both the good and the bad that had happened here. If it'll put you at ease then I'll tell you everything I know. Tomitake-san's smile made me even more relieved than I had ever been. It was hard to think of what to ask when someone said, "Ask me anything," though. Even when there was so much I wanted to ask. Then, Could you tell me what happened when the dam was being constructed? There was a big incident where Hinamizawa was going to be submerged, right? I think the locals would be more knowledgeable about the dam than I am. Well, if you don't mind, I'll tell you what I know. It's only when I read the newspaper. Tomitake-san's eyes entered an unfocused gaze as he searched through his memory. Then he spoke. The decision to start the dam project was finalized 7 or 8 years ago. I heard it was the next major project after Karube. There were 3 major issues in Japan at that time: improving the inter-island transportation infrastructure, meeting the higher demand for electricity, and flood control. There was a boom in the dam building due to the massive economic stimulus they provided on top of the generating electricity and flood control. Hinamizawa had the right conditions to support dam construction, so it was singled out. The dam reservoir would have covered quite a lot of ground when it was completed. The entire area right up to Yaguchi Way upstream would be underwater. But why did they have to pick a populated area like Hinamizawa? Couldn't they have instead picked a place where nobody lived? I'm not really sure why, but I heard that it was just the right terrain for building a dam. Of course, there were protests here in Hinamizawa. Rika-chan had said there was a battle. From the choice of words, I had to guess that things had turned violent. There was a trial, and it was even brought up before the National Diet. It was covered in the Tokyo newspaper too. Mion had told me about this as well. I'm sure every resident in Hinamizawa had united to fight together. The feeling of solidarity found here, which could not be expressed properly through mere words, was likely brought about by that battle. As a result, bribery and scandals were brought up to light. As things got more and more complicated, they eventually halted construction. If I wanted to know, now was my only chance to ask. It was certainly a bizarre incident that boys my age would be curious about. I felt a little shame from the fact that I was petty enough to have my curiosity piqued by Rena and Mion's refusal to talk about the event. But I'd figured I might as well ask since I had the chance. Just so I would stop thinking about it so much. So, there was a dismemberment, right? There was. It happened to be here in Hinamizawa at the time. What? I remember it well. Tomitake's answer was nonchalant in contrast to my hesitantly forced out question. It was about this time, 4 years ago. It was to the day of the Watanagashi, if I recall correctly. The debate on whether to continue the construction on the dam was in disarray. Scandal after scandal rocked the project near the end. The incident that was the final nail in the coffin for the dam project. A fight at the dam construction site ended in the victim being murdered. Fearing prosecution, the 6 assailants divided the remains into 6 pieces and hid each one. 5 of the 6 criminals turned themselves in out of guilt, but one was still on the run. The right arm that he'd hidden had yet to be found. The major details lined up with what was in the tabloid I'd read earlier. There was certainly a tragic incident, but it wasn't so terrible that Rena and Mion needed to hide it from me. I guess they just didn't want someone who just moved here to have a negative impression of Hinamizawa. I felt grateful for having friends who worried about me so much, as well as shame for still being so interested in it. It was near the end of all the trouble with the dam, you see. Everyone was saying that it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. Oyashiro-sama's curse, huh? Oyashiro-sama is the name of a god at the shrine that held the festival today, if I recall correctly. I see. Their guardian deity rained divine punishment down on the evil dam construction for trying to flood Hinamizawa. Apparently the younger ones didn't think so. But it seems that the elderly in the village never doubted that it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. The woman who had Tomitake-san said with a mischievous chuckle. Tomitake-san began laughing with her, and it was so infectious I ended up laughing as well. But I wonder about now. There was quite a few, I think, amongst the youth too. A few what? People who believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse. The woman's lips were still curled into a smile, but her expression was turned stern. Then after that, it continued every year. Always around this time. Continued? What continued? Tomitake-san paused for a second as if to build up some suspense, and then he whispered to me as if someone might have been listening. Every year, on the day of Watanagashi, somebody dies. The year following the dismemberment, on the day of the Watanagashi, a man from Hinamizawa who had supported the dam fell off a cliff overlooking some rapids and died while he was on vacation. Unfortunately for his wife, the body was never recovered. He supported the dam construction even though he lived in Hinamizawa. At the time, there were whispers amongst the elderly that it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. The woman chuckled mischievously again. Then the next year, the night of Watanagashi, the shrine's Shinto priest died suddenly from an unknown illness. His wife drowned herself in the bog that night. The shrine's Shinto priest, you mean the shrine here? The woman nodded. There was a rumor amongst the villagers that they weren't able to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger. The year after that, again on the night of Watanagashi, they discovered a battered body of a local housewife. Up until now, all of these mysterious deaths were of people involved with the dam or who had connections with Oyashiro-sama. With that in mind, could the housewife have been involved in some way too? Exactly. The woman started to challenge. No, it was more menacing. One of the victim's relatives, you see, was connected to the younger brother of the dam supporter who fell off to his death 2 years before. The younger brother is still alive, it seems. But it did bother him quite a bit, so he moved to a neighboring town. For a while, I stood there with my mouth agape. The battle over the dam construction with Hinamizawa's future at stake, and the murder at the center of it all. That was all I knew, and that was all I wanted to ask about. But that wasn't all there was to the story. Homicide, body disposal, accidental deaths, terminal illness, suicide, fatal beatings. I'm a pretty level-headed person, but I don't really want to believe in curses. But for the freakish deaths happened every year on the day of the Watanagashi, and all of them were related to the dam construction? It was easy to dismiss each of them as coincidences by themselves. But when you put all of them together, dismissing all of them as coincidence would then defy logic. I don't believe in curses, but every single year on the day of Watanagashi, somebody or something makes it happen without fail? The woman chuckled again as if she picked up on what I was thinking. It felt like she was saying, maybe there was, maybe we frightened him, stuff like that. I felt embarrassed at being read so easily. I pressed Tomitake-san's to continue, a bit of impatience and irritation in my tone. Then, so someone died the next year, right? Who was it that time? I wonder. Who do you think, Keiichi? The hell? By the way he said it, he didn't agree with me. The sarcastic tone tickled me off. Don't avoid the question. I'm being serious here. Hey, calm down, Keiichi-kun. I realized she was trying to calm me down. I had been panicking. We aren't trying to avoid the question, Keiichi-kun. It's just, when you say the next year, that's today. When she hesitated to say it, Tomitake-san finished for her. I broke into a cold sweat. I didn't really like the direction it was headed. Nobody wants to speak of it, but they all think it's going to happen again tonight. The festival was so cheerful, though. Well, the victim last year, the housewife, she was a non-believer. It turns out she didn't even attend the Watanagashi Festival. And there was a rumor going around that if you didn't participate in the festival, you would incur Oyashiro-sama's wrath. Didn't you hear anything about this, Keiichi-kun? I never even heard a whisper above that rumor. Then, the reason why everyone was at the festival was they were afraid of the curse? I figured that must have been the reason. There were a lot of people at the Watanagashi than usual. I guess everyone was just afraid after all. Of speak words. Oyashiro-sama's curse. I couldn't utter a single word. In this modern age, where we've made progress in all scientific fields, shedding light on the unknown and misunderstood, where black and white television was eradicated and we've sent men to the moon, even with all our accomplishments, this can exist in a modern society. Tons of invitations were sent out to neighboring towns' youth groups to help pad the numbers. But after that string of events, few decided to join. The municipal committee members were complaining about how it was hard to gather participants. Also, the police were treating each case as isolated. They don't believe they're connected. They're trying to keep it quiet, so it's all off the plainclothes officers. It's finally beginning to dawn on me why Ren and Mion were reluctant to talk. If nothing had happened during the Watanagashi, everything would have been over with, and I'd be none the wiser. If nothing happened, all would be well. In that case, why would it would all end up being just crazy talk? I should have just pretended I knew nothing from the beginning. Then I wouldn't have had to talk like nothing happened. And we would have had to gone back to life as usual. Maybe it was just too much for him after all. The woman ran her fingers through her hair as she sighed. No, it wasn't. Not at all. I had tried to act strong, but that just served to emphasize how much the information unsettled me. After seeing how I looked, Tomitake-san appeared to regret saying anything. Letting out a sigh, then he spoke, forcing an awkward, upbeat demeanor. Keiichi-kun, surely you don't believe in such things as curses. Well, no. If the causes are all the crimes that were unknown, with the perpetrators and their methods all mysteries, then I would think it's the work of a curse. But that's not how things are in reality. The police are investigating the evidence and suspects to uncover the truth. Hearing him say police made me feel a whole lot better. It was perfect for repelling the word curse. The first one, dismemberment, for example. I told you, didn't I? All but one of the perpetrators were arrested. It's only a matter of time before the last one. The motive turned out to have been an argument they had while intoxicated. That's no curse. Don't you agree? If that's true, and if it didn't happen on the day of Watanagashi, then I wouldn't think it related to the curse at all. The accidental death of a man who supported the dam is the same. He was in a position that made others hate him. The police had made a point of investigating from that angle. They concluded it was an accident, not foul play. But they both happened on the same day of the festival, right? Just think about it, Keiichi-kun. Do you think people with lots of enemies here in Hinamizawa could participate easily with a local festival? It would be especially hard for them to be around during Watanagashi. So they probably left Hinamizawa intentionally around this time of year to travel, don't you think? It isn't a very clear explanation, but I sort of understood what Tomitake-san was getting at. So I pressed on earnestly, asking for more questions so that I could convince myself. Then Tomitake-san, what about the priest who died after that? The one with an unknown illness. That also happened on the day of the festival. It's even easier to explain what had happened to the Shinto priest. The Watanagashi is a really big event that happens once a year. It was probably from all the built-up stress. Or it may have been because of a pre-existing condition. But it was an unknown illness. It's hard to believe something with an unknown cause could exist with all our advances in medicine. It's just an exaggeration. Rumors making rumors. Anyone would get worked up over having incidents with having 2 years in a row. The sudden death is quite unnatural, though. Of course, the police ordered an autopsy because of the strange way he died. But there wasn't enough for them to open a full investigation, you know? Turns out it was just a sudden death due to illness. The priest's wife committed suicide, correct? What about that? I believe I already explained that. Everyone was shaken up by the incidents happening for the 3rd year. Those who had a strong of faith were quick to believe that it was the work of the curse. Of course, that included the priest's wife. Apparently they found a suicide note that had said something like, "My death will quell Oyashiro-sama's anger." Well then, how about the next incident with the housewife? That had happened on the day of Watanagashi too. The perpetrator had been caught and the case had been closed. Turns out it was just a nut job trying to continue the legacy of the Hinamizawa curse. Then, how about the incident of the next year? Oh yeah. This year is the next year. Tomitake-san gave a hearty laugh. Nothing will happen. Not this year. There was never a curse to begin with. It was just a group of people who believed it and was the explanation for a string of coincidences. My internal computer finally got itself back on track. I felt a bit embarrassed about how childish I'd become after losing control and panicking. I can see very clearly how Keiichi-kun really does love Hinamizawa, even if Oyashiro-sama's curse actually did exist. Keiichi-kun couldn't bring himself to believe that such a thing existed. I felt very relieved. I should probably just forget about everything I heard tonight. I'll get right on Mion tomorrow with the same smile as always. They'd probably also like tonight to end without incident, so they can continue tomorrow without having worried me. Perhaps seeing my changing attitude, the woman who had been listening and stretched as she got up from the rock she was sitting on. Well then, I should be getting back. Goodness, I think I may have been too long. There were a few people compared to the crowd of the before, and I could only make out a few groups of families enjoying the cool evening air. I looked at my watch. It seemed that we had been talking for the better part of an hour. Didn't you come along with your friends, Keiichi-kun? Not going to look for them? Oh yeah! They might be all looking for me. You're quite the scoundrel making girls look for you. See you, Keiichi-kun. Have a good night. You too, Jiro-san. I'll see you later. Tomitake-san seems to be quite the scoundrel himself, so his name is Jiro. After dusting off her backside, she disappeared into the crowd after people still busy cleaning up the temple grounds. Keiichi-kun! So sorry. When you replaced Rena came running over. I could see the others behind her. Speak of the devil. My bad, Kei-chan. We just got so up on our discussion. I completely forgot about them while caught up in my own conversation, so we're even. Spy, so Tomitake-san was with you. This works out perfectly. We still need to settle the shooting gallery competition. Ah, that's right. So I guess I'm gonna end up dead last? In the end, after my dramatic victory, Rika was the last challenger, but there weren't many targets left. Ones remaining were all tiny, difficult to hit. She didn't take her time and aim, but all 3 shots were completely missed, and she was to end up sharing the loser's crown with Tomitake-san. Poor Rika. However, she did her little mewing cry in front of the owner, and he turned to mush instantly. She was given a pack of gum as a consolation prize. Oh boy. Her methods were a bit audacious, but she did avoid being a loser rather magnificently. Come to think of it, Rika-chan is quite the trickster. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what Keiichi is talking about. Now then, it's decided that Tomitake-san is dead last. Everyone cheered and applauded when Tomitake-san smiled wryly, slightly bewildered. So, Tomitake-san, are you ready? Penalty time! Huh? Oh, I completely forgot about that. You're too naive, Tomitake-san. This is the club can never lose. Mion pulled her felt tip marker from her pocket. Oh, it's that. Show him some mercy, Mion. At least use a washable marker. A permanent one is too harsh. It just has to be permanent. It comes off when you do the laundry anyway. Whoa, whoa. What is this? Please take it easy on me. Olivis pinned his arms from behind his back, and Mion approached him with a marker in one hand. And squip, 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 squip. But she did not write on Tomitake-san's face. She wrote on the t-shirt he was wearing. Henceforth laundry. You better have your big break this year, Mion. Rena took the marker next. Show me some photos next time, okay? Star, Rena. It was a little heartwarming and I just had to laugh. This is more like a farewell card than a penalty. Oh ho ho, I'm not as soft as the rest. I'll make sure this is a proper penalty. Haha, dead last, Satoko. Try harder next time, Rika. Here you go, Keiichi-san. I couldn't decide what to write, but based on what kind of penalty it was probably the most appropriate. Come back and play again, Keiichi. Tomitake-san was silent the entire time. At first he was quite bewildered, but now he had a different look on his face. So I have to wear this all the way back to Tokyo as part of the penalty? Of course, you better wear it all the way home. Ah, you could wear it when you come back. It would be nice. He appeared deeply moved. Embarrassment mixed with a wealth of other emotions made him turn a bright red. Understood. I'll wear this the next time I come here. I promise. Everyone cheered and applauded. It was the first It was the finest parting gift possible for a buddy heading out tonight. I saw the woman who was with Tomitake-san standing near the festival grounds. It seemed that Tomitake-san had noticed her too, and knew it was time to leave. It seems like your guest is waiting. Isn't it about time? Yeah, that's certainly how it seems. Tomitake-san headed off towards her and seemed to apologize for making her wait. We all shouted stuff at Tomitake-san. Each time we did, he looked back and waved his hand. Eventually, he faded into the darkness of the night, out of sight. It was quite the casual farewell. This wasn't the first time any of us had seen someone off. They had done the same thing many times before. He's gone. Well, it's about time we take off too. Rika-chan had to stay behind with the other committee members since they were having a meeting. Satoko was tagging along with her. I headed back home with the usual suspects. Read. The walk back was quite lively, with talk of the today's war stories. Should have done this, should have done that, that kind of stuff. Minette and I parted ways with Mion, and then it was just us two then it was just us two. Then we got to my house, and I parted ways with Rena as well. It's already pretty late. Are you alright by yourself? Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. It's close. I'm going to run, too. If you run into some weirdo, just yell. If someone does come, will you come and save me? Maybe? Maybe? If I hear you. Oh, okay. I'll scream loud enough so you can hear me. Merrily spinning her arms around at high speed, Rena dashed off. She was fine. In that mode, not even an adult could stand up against her. Rena's cheerful presence disappeared as it finally became quiet again. The curse that not a single person even whispered about. The more I learned about it tonight, the more unsettling it became. I didn't show any on their faces, but they were probably all quite concerned about it as well. But nothing happens tonight, then it all ends up being crazy talk. Nothing will happen. Nothing bad. Nothing at all. What's wrong, Keiichi? Why are you standing in a place like that? Come inside. You'll catch a cold. It was my mom. Did you go, Mom? To the Watanagashi Festival? In the end, your father didn't wake up, so I missed it. A little disappointing. Mom stuck out her tongue with a bit of an embarrassed look on her face. Holy cannoli! That's not bad. You have received new tips. Mr. and Mrs. Hojo's falling incident. I couldn't read all that. Let's just view new tips. Oh, we have 4. Man, that's crazy. Let's do it. Or I don't know. Should we? No, that can't. No, I think, you know what we're going to do? We'll go and do that next episode of Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 1. This is Doria signing out, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Higurashi. What will happen tomorrow? Is the curse of Oyashiro-sama real? Or is it just fluff? And nothing will happen? Well, tune in, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.